Hi guys, thanks for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the 1.6.0 patch notes for Arc creators that came out just today on the 16th. They actually had a lot of things to go over, but generally any bug fixes, anything that says starts off with fix an issue dot 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 dot, I'm going to be kind of condensing all that unless it's something important. Starting off, we're going to talk about the Stella spawn distance fix. Originally, there was an issue where you could spawn in Stella Montes and there would be people like right around the corner. Or there's this one specific hallway where people would spawn and just look straight down the left. It's like just to the left of their spawn. There's a hallway. If you guys play Stella Montes, you know what I'm talking about. That left hallway, people would just run down it because that's one of the only ways they could go if they spawn on that end, and it's just a train wreck at that point. There's General Batina and Rattler buffs, actually. The Batina, they said that they wanted to make it a little bit more reliable for PvP without turning the edge too much. They wanted to keep it as a good PvE weapon, but making it more useful in other parts. Rattler is also the same thing. They said that they didn't want to make it on par at close range as the Stitcher or the Kettle, but they said they wanted to increase the TTK time, which makes sense, especially with the Rattler. The Rattler is honestly one of my least liked guns out of this entire game. It's so bad sometimes. I hate it. I know a lot of people hate it. Going back to Stella Montes, actually, the Shredder has a couple changes to it. The Shredder's not going to be knocked back to it so much when shot. It's also going to be has an increased head health, so that if you pop off its head, it doesn't freak out for some reason. That's what they specifically said, is so there's reduced unusual interactions or something along those lines is what they typed in their patch notes. They gave it better navigation, so it stopped getting stuck on corners or anything. They increased the number of parts that can be broken off of it and increased the aggro speed when you shoot at it. This one I was a little confused about, because I thought this was a part of the matriarch. Correct me if I'm wrong. Missiles no longer reverse course after passing a target and can correctly track targets at different elevations. I'm curious as if that's a matriarch specific update. So when the missile whizzes past you, it doesn't just reflect back. It's more of a direct homing missile. And if it misses, it's not going to entirely loop back. I'm curious to see how that change works out. They increased the number of footsteps that can be heard and increased loudness on metal when walking quietly. This is a huge change. You've ever been in a building where there's like 3 or 4 or 5 teams and it's a big mess of everybody fighting everybody, and you won't be able to hear everybody's footsteps. There was a limit on how many footsteps you'd be able to hear. The increased loudness on metal, I think, is a general change all of us would like. All of us are kind of, it gives a bit more of an incentive to be careful and choosing your walking area. I like that. Improved directional audio detection for Arc. This is really cool, actually. So if you're running away from the Arc, and it's, say for example, I know a lot of us have probably had those situations where you're 60, 70 meters from a Rocketeer and you're like, oh, there's a Rocketeer right there. This is probably going to make that quite a bit harder. If you're not being wary of the Rocketeer, it might see you at that 70, 80 meter range now. Or hear you, not see you. Excuse me. Security lockers are now dynamically spawned across all maps instead of being statically placed. What that is referring to is the security lockers down the red tree. You are now going to be having random spawns throughout the maps rather than in like the specific key rooms or specific spawns that they've been spawning in. I think this is overall a buff for the skill. I'm guessing it might increase the amount on the map. I'm not. They didn't specify anything like that. But if they have a good amount of random positions, it could potentially have more on the map at one point than what would normally. They move the matriarch spawn to a better area that plays to its strengths on Dam Battlegrounds. This is scary. They do not specify where they move the matriarch, but the matriarch has been moved in Dam Battlegrounds to a point where it improves itself. It improves its position on us. Increased some item and blueprint spawns in Stella Montis. This goes down to actually one of the things I'm going to go over. They moved the Aphelion blueprint from the Matriarch to Stella Montis as well. That it goes 1-1 with this. I'm not sure what other items they didn't specify. They didn't specify any other blueprints besides the Aphelion blueprint. This one is honestly probably one of the biggest and most requested changes, actually, that's coming up. They put in a skill tree reset for 2,000 coins per skill point. This is amazing, especially for those who went straight down the red path and got to the security blockers, and then they nerfed it really heavily. This gives us a chance to be able to reset without fully wiping our account if we are not to that point yet. Effortless roll, the ability that reduces your stamina, like the dodge rolls cost less stamina, it provides a greater stamina reduction. So it seems like they're trying to buff the mobility tree and make it a little bit more useful. Same, it kind of goes hand in hand with this next one. Calming Stroll now applies while moving in ADS. This one is actually massive. This is a really good change. While walking, the ability Calming Stroll is while walking regenerates stamina. And if you guys know, the walking animation is different from your non-sprinting walk. It is the slow walk. And now it regens your stamina while ADSing. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. They increased the loot value in epic keycard rooms to better reflect the rarity. This is amazing because if you ever had like a purple key card and got jack shit, and then you go to a green card and oh my god, these lockers are loaded. I'm guessing that's what it means, or reflecting back, just boosting all of the key room spawns. Last but not least, they expanded blueprint spawn locations to improve availability in areas that were underrepresented. This sounds like they're just trying to get people to spread out across the map more rather than going to the 3 or 4 biggest spots to get blueprints. Other than that, there's just general audio bug fixes, anything that got you stuck, launched you, etc., etc. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like, subscribe, comment down below if there's anything I missed, anything I should have gone over a little bit more, anything you wish for me. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you.